Many of my clients grew up in families where there was a real scarcity mindset, whether they came from a poorer family or whether they came from a well-to-do family. Something within that family was setting a tone of fear, that hang on to what you've got because you never know about tomorrow, and don't be frivolous. It's settle for what it is. Like, you can't have everything. This is just hearsay. This person loves you enough. Everything is enough. And although that can be wise in some situations, for example, I don't think you should quit a job until you have something else lined up. I think that's wisdom. I think that's taking care of yourself and being a responsible adult. But in a relationship, I don't think you should settle just because you're afraid something else won't come along, especially if it's rooted in a fear, a lack of, a fear that you aren't enough, a fear that they may find somebody else, a fear that you're ugly or that you could not possibly do better. And all of those things are just lies we tell ourselves because we're afraid to take a risk of being alone. Is a warm body really better than nobody? In my opinion, I'd say no. I think relationships are sacred. I think relationships are one of the most important things. And creating a healthy one means that you have to start with a responsible, emotionally mature person. And if you allow yourself to settle with someone who is non-committal, who is not grown up, who is irresponsible, just because you're afraid you won't find somebody else, you're dooming yourself. And this is part of the reason that scarcity mindset really messes with relationships, especially relationships where both people feel like they're thriving. So exactly why do they happen? Well, they usually happen because you were fed that as a child. You came from that. Maybe parents, one or two parents had that, and you just aligned with them. And secondly, it may be that you just feel so fearful of doing anything on your own. Maybe you had a lot of brothers and sisters, or you were the baby of the family, and you always had other people around. No matter what, if you have this mindset in a relationship, you come across as clingy, you come across as insecure, you come across as someone who may be jealous, who doesn't want their partner doing anything. Before you know it, you're suspicious. You're checking your partner's text. You're checking their emails. It's almost as if you're looking for the other shoe to drop because you don't trust that you could find someone that loved you and that was enough. You didn't have to go to extremes. They loved you and they were a good person. And this is why when sometimes someone with a scarcity mindset gets connected with someone who is stable, who is actually responsible, emotionally mature, that these people that have a scarcity mindset sabotage it. And they sabotage it because they're always suspicious. They're looking for what's going to happen bad. And let's face it, if you're with somebody like that, that gets old. You get sick of it. You don't know how to prove that you're a trustworthy person. And eventually you go, I've been faithful. I've been a good person. I don't know what else I can do. So if you have this mindset, it's important that you start working on it. So what can you do to help minimize the effects of a scarcity mindset? Well, first of all, start getting more of a balance in a relationship. Maybe you're feeling this way because you put all your emphasis, all your emotion into the relationship. Your expectations are up here, and most relationships are somewhere in the middle. They're give and take. Start dispersing some of your time and attention. Get back together with those friends. Go out for a girls' or guys' night. Find an exercise class that you really like and commit to it. Set a goal. Do something so that there's a balance in the relationship. Your partner's going to like that a lot more. They're not going to feel smothered, or they're not going to feel overwhelmed by your need of them, by your need of proving that they are a worthy person. And that's exactly what happens when you put all your eggs in one basket. Secondly, start working on yourself. Self-improvement. Okay, this relationship may or may not work. There's no guarantees. But at the same time, it has a higher tendency of working, and there's a higher tendency that you could meet someone after this without this scarcity mindset if you started doing the things that make you feel weak about yourself. Because lack of confidence and lack of self-esteem are two big components of a scarcity mindset, what keeps a person limited and tied to it. So start doing things that make you feel better about yourself. Maybe that's becoming a volunteer for some company. Maybe that's about doing something 3 days of the week that are just for you. Maybe a book club, maybe a sewing club, maybe a crochet club. Whatever it is, make sure that you align with something. Maybe if 3 days is too much, take 1 day a week and do something that brings you joy. If it's going to the gym or it's going golfing, whatever it is, take it up. Start doing it. Start practicing it. This is going to make you a better partner. And what about your communication? Are you a good communicator? There are tons of different courses you can take on how to establish great communication. I have several homework assignments about it on my website. All you have to do is commit to it. Decide that this is something you're going to do, that this is going to be the year you minimize your scarcity mindset, because it feels terrible to be in this mindset. You always feel anxious. You always feel on edge. You don't want to live in this. And if you ever have children, you certainly don't want to give this to them. And you will if you practice it at home. And lastly, I think it's important that you begin talking to your partner about it. That you start telling them, you know, I keep thinking I was raised with a family where you just settle. And I feel so bad making bigger expectations, taking bigger risks, taking a leap when I'm afraid that I may leap and fall and there won't be anything else for me. When you talk to your partner and share this vulnerability, that's going to deepen your relationship. That's going to make them understand you. They're going to give you more opportunities to take small risks. They're going to support you. They, in a way, are going to help heal you from this. Whoever you let in on what's going on in your heart and mind, as long as it's a close friend, family, or a partner who loves you, you're going to be able to deepen that relationship and restore some confidence and trust in yourself again. If this video was helpful to you, I want to encourage you to please subscribe. And if you are a subscriber already, thank you so much. You guys have my heart.